Okay guys, so the hip aeroplane exercise. Fantastic exercise for developing stability within the hip hinge movement, but it also creates a decent amount of overload to the hamstrings, glute and all the other stabilizer muscles of the hips. So you want to start by standing on one leg with your shoulders stacked directly above your hip joint, your arms out to the side and your shoulders squeezed back slightly. There's a little bit of tension in the upper back, just helps create stability in the hip when we actually perform the exercise. Now, on the supporting leg, create a slight bit of knee bend, but keep it fixed in position. We don't want to bend the knee any further as we move, and keep the majority of the movement within the hip joint. We then want to push the steering or the free leg backwards, focusing on keeping our hips level and leaning the torso forwards. As you do this, making sure that the steering leg is being fully extended, you should feel tension build within your hamstring and your glute. Initially, it might be difficult to maintain your balance, so you can also hold on to something just to gain a feel for the movement, and then progress to challenging yourself without any support. The main coaching points to really consider when doing this exercise is that you should feel the tension in your hamstring. Initially, some people feel it in their calf muscles in the lower leg. That tends to mean that you're drifting too much onto your toes, so you really want to focus on pushing that steering leg back as you hinge over. And then the final main coaching point is to keep your hips level. So also really common to see people as they hinge on the supporting leg to lift the other hip up and twist their torso. This is just to take pressure off the glute, so really focus on keeping your hips as level as you possibly can. Slowly return to the start position by standing up and taking your shoulders directly above the hip joint before going onto the opposite leg. As you can see in the video, there is a variation in which you reach forward with your arms. That's slightly more challenging, so feel free to push yourself with this slightly more difficult variation. However, you can just stay with the initial variation with your arms out to the side.